Conquering Mount Scrapmore with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here with another episode of Why Seam Wednesdays. Yay! Why Seam Wednesdays. I have had so much fun digging up these old patterns, these vintage patterns for you, and playing around with them and changing the scale of them and, making them look a little bit more modern and fresh with different fabrics that we're using. I'm just having a blast with this series. I hope you are too, because this has been so much fun for us. Now, what we're going to do is you're going to find the PDF for this pattern. I know it looks kind of pale on the screen, but the PDF for this pattern is in the show notes below. And this is something, guys, you got to get into those show notes somehow on your device. I don't know how you're doing it, but this is very important to do because a lot of things I'm going to talk about next are in those show notes. So you get links and all the rest of it. Like our shout out. Let's do our shout out. Becky at Sweetheart Quilt Design is a channel that is just fun. Like a lot of her stuff is really cool, and she has a different speaking voice than the rest of us. So it's very interesting to see what's going on her channel. So, you guys give her some encouragement, some love, and tell her Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. And I hope she gets this, wonderful surprise. If you like what you see over there, hit her subscribe button too. Now, there's a bunch of things that are in the show notes that I'm going to want to talk to you about. Like, first off, I speak for free to quilting groups and quilting guilds, and this is my way of giving back to the quilting community. I talk about over Zoom. I do it over Zoom only. I don't do it in person. I do it over Zoom. I talk about fabric design or elements of design, using your scraps, a lot of using your scraps. I have a trunk show of the scraps, quilts that I've made over the years, and we talk about what's up and coming in the YouTube channel here, so you kind of get a sneak peek ahead as to what's going on or what's going to come. So kind of like what it may or may not suit your group's needs, but if it does, please put my name forward. I'd be happy to make time and talk to them. Now also you're going to see a list of the community round robin. Now it might be over by the time this posts and this video drop, but those patterns are going to be free, and they're going to be free on Michelle's site called Bits and Pieces Quilting, right? So you gotta, there's going to be links for all of them and all the dates that they dropped. But it was Future Cat from New Zealand, Michelle from Bits and Pieces, Kelly from Kelly's Quilts and Cruises, and we just had a blast making those gorgeous blocks. And I believe Michelle's going to host it for a while, so it's a great place to go find all those free patterns. So you got to check that one out. We also have a Facebook group, warm, welcoming, growing very quickly. We have a lot of fun doing what normal Facebook groups do, like post pictures and ask questions and all the rest of the stuff. But we also have a lot of community chats set up. The best community chat is the sewing room. The virtual sewing room is hosted by Discord. Now that is a fun place to be, and it's a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week virtual sew date that you have now available to you, and you never know who's going to come in there and what country they're from. Also, we have fabric swaps by country. We do recipe exchanges. We do like all sorts of things, and we have just chats for just general stuff. If people, people just want to talk about what's going on in their lives and the weather that's coming and all that stuff. I mean, those are all of the different community chats, and they're so much fun to be involved in. We also have the Zoom sew dates, and the link for Zoom from now until the end of December. Now I get in there, I have lots of fun that day. It's 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, because I'm either in my home here in Alberta, Canada, or I'm in our little tiny home in Arizona. And we just have so much fun on those Zoom sew days. So I get lots done, and there's lots of chatting. I do try and talk to everyone. Some days it's a little busy, but I mean, we do try and get to everybody and talk to everybody and find out what they're working on and what's inspiring them and, all of that kind of stuff. So we just have a blast in there. It's been so much fun in there. So I think that's it. Yes, we talked about Becky at the Sweetheart Quilt Design. So yeah, come on in. Let's get to this really cute sewing. Okay, we're at the sewing machine. Now, Blossom, the PDFs, I mean, this is where we showed you how to make a template. This is the one we were using, and you'll see that these lines are not all the same, right? Some of them are bigger, right? So and it's also, there was a straight of grain issue with this as well. So you needed to have the longer piece. No, that's the longer piece. Can't remember now. Is it the longer piece? No, you need the shorter piece straight of grain and the longer piece bias, right? But this, yeah, this works out really well. It's very simple. And you could do this totally scrappy. I mean, you could do even the low volume scrappy here if you want. So this is how we're going to lay this out. This is how we're going to do this. And yeah, this comes together really quick. Now, we're going to start by just sewing on the triangles. And you're sitting there. You could do the whole thing by triangles. Yes, you could. But you wouldn't learn anything about Y seams. So what we're going to do is we're going to sew the half square triangles on the long bits just to secure those bias edges. Now you're just going to overhang this just a hair on either side, right? Just so you get a, you know, centered. Okay. Oh my gosh. There. Yeah, we got some modern pinks. I decided to go through my pinks and just play and have some fun with this. I thought this is a perfect block for fun. You know, you get something bright in the center, and you know, I'm like, okay, we can do that. We can have some fun with Y seams. Okay. There. And I got a really large scale print here that has been in my pinks forever. That had to come out. Had to come out and play. That's all there was to it. Okay, now. There we go. We're just going to give that a little tweak like that. Okay. And this low volume is a stripe, but don't worry about which way the stripes are going. If you did a whole quilt like this and you played around with all sorts of different colors, you wouldn't care which way the stripes were going. Okay, so there we go. Get that on. Line it up about middle. Yes, we are. I think some people have made this block. When they make this block, they make their triangles just a hair larger. And that seems to, you know, then you can, you know, trim to, you know, 12.5-inch finish. I mean, that works too. And I can't remember when I cut this, because I didn't cut it yet today. I cut it a couple of days ago. And I can't remember if I cut this so I made it larger or not. I'm not sure. But you only want to cover 3 sides, and they all have to kind of be in the same, you know, going together in the same thing. Okay, it sticks out on both sides. There we go. Yeah, making sometimes something a little larger than needed is actually not wasteful. It's actually a really good idea. And you're not stressing out about, well, what have I done now? What have I done with this? What did I do? Now, yes, okay. And let's get back to this. People say, oh, you could have cut that one in, you know, quarters, and, you know, it wouldn't be any Y seams. That's true. That's really true. But I like that center. And, you know, it's always about, for me, sewing is about making yourself better at something, you know. So that's kind of important for me, you know, to be trying to do something a little better, improve, learn a new skill, you know, is always good. Okay, we got the last one on these. I think I already did. Oh, no, I didn't. Okay, there we go. You just hop every one. Now on this, when you're sewing these outside corners, this is straight of grain. This is not, right? So you're sewing bias on bias. So don't pull, you know, or anything like that. Don't try not to do that. That would be important. That's important, not to pull. Okay. There we go. Nice. Okay. Oh, I think we got them all. Yes, we do. Line them all up again. And there. I wonder if I mix these up. Oh well, it'll be okay. It's not a problem. There we go. Yeah. Okay, last up is this really dark, this really fun one. Oh, and we did it. We got all of these stripes going the same direction on the intersection. Now, there's sometimes you see this block where this is a solid piece, right? Where these two are not, separate. There's a solid piece. And, that's just somebody making a blossom block with a little more detail, right? So... but that's okay. We don't need to have that much going on for this block. Now I'm going to line this up. So there's just a hit of yellow on each side, poking out the same amount on each side. And I'm going to run my 1/4 inch seam. Just kabang. Here we go. Now, we're going to go for this. We're going to go diagonally opposite. And I'm just going to finger press this out. There we go. And I'm going to get, so see it's like this, right? So I'm going to take the diagonally opposite one. And I'm going to line up the edge, that bias edge that you're working with on top. And with just the little points on either side poking out. Oops, I missed it. I put it down and I goofed. And there we go. There we go. Nice. So. Okay, now we're going to flip it over, point this one open, just like so. This is such nice cottons. Okay, now I'm going to take this one here, and we're going to sew it from here to here to here, right? So we're going to do this twice. Okay, so I'm going to take this, I'm going to line this up. Right from corner to corner. I'm going to line it up. But I'm going to flip this seam this way. Because I want that point to nest. Right? Because we got to make a nest here. So the bottom seam is going this way. The top seam is going that way. Right? So I'm just going to line it all up. Get that as tight as I can for that nest. I have a nice perfect little point going on. There it is. Got it. Ugh, and guess what? I'm sewing it the wrong way. Eesh, I knew it. We had one job today. That's it. We had one job. So I'm just going to make a 1/4 inch X mark. Because that will, so I could go like this. Measure a 1/4 inch this way and a 1/4 inch that way. And I would have the same effect. But now I'm going to try and get that point right on the seam line below a 1/4 inch in. So I'm going to pin it now because I've got my thing turned upside down. That wasn't smart. It was not smart. Okay. And here we go. We're going to finish this up. Okay. There. There we go. Okay. Spin this. Oh, I get this off here. I turned it the wrong way. I can't believe I did that. Oh well. You know what? There's different ways of doing this. Grab my pen again. Do a 1/4 inch. 1/4 inch this way and this way. And just basically you're making an X. You should use a ruler if you're not comfortable drawing one like that. But like I say, I've been doing this for so long. And then you sew 1/4 inch in from the seam below. And now you get that fussy little seam flat as you can. And sometimes you gotta spin it just to pull this. Just a hair. There we go. Perfect. It's always nice to have an awl and tweezers. Different kinds of tweezers. These are really, really pointy and sharp. Just so nice. My husband picked them up at Princess Auto. And I guess the equivalent of Princess Auto for the US would be Harbor Freight. So, you know, like you go looking for, like, because it's a tool. Now I want to take this seam and press it this way, just to make sure I have a good nest again. That's alright if we nest it. Okay. Come on, you. Come on. There. Oh, it went in. Suddenly it goes in. I'm happy. Let's get this one sewn up. Alright. Okay, next one we're not making that mistake. We're going to make sure we know which way we're going. Okay, so this is what happened. This went the wrong way, but that's okay because now I've got my points nesting perfect, right? Like they look really good and, you know, everything worked out because I drew lines. You're supposed to draw the lines before you start sewing, but of course that's not going to work. Now, if I want this on top, this has to go on the bottom, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip this over like so, and we're going to flip this over like so, and then we're going to go like this. And now I have my seams, my pivot points on top, and I want this seam, oops, these seams, the one on the bottom can go this way and the one on the top goes this way. So I'm going to nest that seam as best I can because that's where I'm looking. Okay. Okay, now get that right in there tight. So I make my points and it's nicely nested. Now we start worrying about the Y seam. Now let's worry about the Y seam we have to make. We just want to continue down with a good 1/4 inch. There, nice. When you hit your 1/4 inch, you're right on the seam, you drop your needle, right? Give this a pivot, right? You're pivoting this so that you get the next line of sewing. Now sometimes this doesn't want to spin, or, you know, sometimes it gets hooked up. I find I don't have as much problem if I have the small hole sewing plate, and that's if you have a modern machine. That might be an issue for you, but it's not an issue. Like I have this, like the small hole as all the time, but sometimes I find if I had a kind of a smiley face hole where the needle goes in and out, the stitch plate, it's got a smiley face on it. I have problems pivoting because stuff gets caught. Okay, we're right there, right in that seam line. Now we pivot again to get out from underneath there. Now, oops, there we go. Let's get this all nice, all nice. And we're going to put this one down first. Okay, there we go. Okay, that goes down. And the bottom goes up, or you have to nest your point. Okay, so I'm just going to show you what I did. See, it's much easier. You don't have to stop and mark stuff and, you know, all the rest of the stuff when your seams are open. Now I'm just going to show you what I did in the back. So we sewed these on first, and I pressed open. I could also turn around now and press this open if I chose, but, you know, it's kind of up to what's going on here now. I moved, in order to make these points, one had to go down, the other had to go up. So I'm just going to, the one that's going the wrong way now, I'm just going to finger press it and put it in place. It's not a big deal. So like here, here's another one that's going the wrong way. Just finger press it the other way. It's all good. When you get to the ironing board, you're going to fix it so that it looks good, right? You're going to press it in place and it'll be wonderful. So that's what I'm saying. You meet your points. Now, when you're looking at your points here, they all match. Everything matches up nice. They have nice definition, you know, like you don't have a mess here. You've got good points here on the corners of your Y seam. So let's give it a good iron. Use a clapper. Maybe trim it up to 12 inches and it'll be perfect. Okay, here's our block blossom. It's also known as four-leaf clover if you do it in green, but you know, that's just for you. Now, when I went to trim this up to 12.5 inches unfinished, I did bring in a margin where it was a little big all the way around, right? So you could trim it down to 12.5 unfinished, and therefore it would be 12-inch finished in a quilt block. This came together very quickly. It wasn't hard at all, and you know, it was easier because these were triangles. And yes, you could make this block by making this a triangle as well, you know, into 4 different triangles as well. But you know, now you know how to do a Y seam with this. So that's also, as learning is also good. So I do hope you give this one a try. This one was so much fun to come up with, and I thought, okay, we'll make it bigger and we'll put some modern prints with it and it'll look really great. So anyways, you guys have an absolutely beautiful week ahead, and I hope everything in your life is going well for you. And you take care until we see each other again. Okay, bye! Hello again. We just want to thank you for enjoying our video and, you know, coming along with my husband and my YouTube adventure and quilting. And, you know, sometimes things don't work out as best they should, and sometimes they work out great. We're going, wow, that went well. But it's been an amazing journey, and I'm so glad I could share it with you. Share, like, and subscribe these videos. That really helps us out, and it helps us make more charity quilts, okay? So you guys take care until we have a chance to meet again, okay? Bye!